Okay na po.
Okay.
Alright, but
Okay.
I'll meet you later after, Mommy.
Sige, Teach.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you then.
Hello, teacher.
Alright, go ahead,
Uh,
Luke. Take it
To
away.
start the introduction, my name is Luke. I'm 15 years old and I'm grade 8. And welcome to my portfolio review for quarter 1 and quarter 2. So to give you a bit of background, I live in Nasugbu, but currently we are in our Tagaytay condominium. We live near the sea, so we do a lot of sea related fun, like free diving, wakeboarding, windsurfing, and many more. So let us begin. I'll just use this pointer so I can point to some of the things here. So over here, these are first quarter projects. Yes. These will show all of these here are the projects that you're going to see in first quarter. And which subject are they related to? May I continue?
Sure, Luke. Just continue your presentation.
So here, this is my Turkey Bizarre Adventure. Excuse me. But to give you a bit of context, around last October of 2022, me, my family, and some friends visited the faraway land of Turkey or Turkey. So when we were there, we visited many different famous sites. As example, like Ephesus and the Hagia Sophia. I'm gonna tell you some interesting facts about Turkey. Turkey sits between two different continents, which is the Europe and Asia side. So they are only separated by the Bosphorus Strait. During the ancient times, both of these sides have different names. The Europe side was named Anatolia, and the Asia side was Asia Minor. Asia Minor was referred to in the Bible, Ephesians, when Paul sent a letter to Ephesus. Anyways, during the reign of Constantine the Great, Constantine made Christianity legal. Now, Turkey became the central point of Christianity, and the capital during that time was Constantinople, which is modern-day Istanbul. But today, the Turkey Republic's capital is Ankara. Also, if you look into any maps and you see the word Turkey, it no longer exists. If you don't know what I mean by just last year, the United Nations accepted the new name of Turkey as Turkiye. As you can see here, it has replaced its own I placed the pronunciation and the spelling here. So here for my English, history, and Bible project, this is a personal narrative of the place where Ephesus. If you want, feel free to read a little, and I hope you will like it. To give you some context, Turkey, around nearby Asia Minor, is the city of Ephesus. Ephesus is a port city, which is a bustling town. The roads were made of marble. It was pretty luxurious. Also, this is where the famous apostle Saul stayed for around 3 years. The Ephesus' main trade is through trading the statues of Artemis. Interesting fact, just nearby here is the famous temple of Artemis. The only thing that stands is just one pillar of it. But during the time where Paul was, it was gorgeous. It was nearly the seventh wonder of the ancient world. So it was quite a beautiful sight. Anyways, the reason why I wrote this essay is to channel my own feelings on how it feels like to go to these ancient cities after reading the Bible. To be honest, going around these cities felt like it's out of this world, like you've been into a place that you never thought it would be possible. Imagine going to any different movie scenes that you have seen. And it kind of felt just like that when you're reading the Bible or just reading it from a history book. But to describe the feeling there is completely different. Also, Ephesus contained many different impressive places, like the library, which is shown right behind me over here, and multiple fountains. Also, during this time, Paul was also preaching about the gospel, and this is where one of his famous tales where he was nearly attacked but survived. There was a merchant named Demetrius, and when Paul was preaching, he was angry because it's going to ruin his business. So he rallied up the men and brought them to the theater. There's a theater in Ephesus, it's a massive one, where they spelled all hail Artemis for like a long time until even the Romans had a hard time trying to manage it. Anyways, as as I walked through the abandoned ruins of Ephesus, I could actually just imagine. It used to be a bustling town filled with many different merchants, farmers, fishermen, and it felt I could even slightly hear the faint sound of animals and kids playing around. To be honest, I recommend you to visit Ephesus. It's way different than reading it straight from a book. So let us continue. Over here, this is
Love
the
your experience.
underground. Oh, go ahead.
I love your experience. It feels like the one that you're reading the Bible came alive. No, is that how
Exactly.
you felt?
Yes.
Wow. I,
So over here, this is the underground cities of Cappadocia. There are two different cities underground. We are only able to visit one of them. But you might be wondering, how are they able to dig very deep through hard rock? But these rocks were not very hard because the rocks were made out of ash, volcanic ash, which slowly built up over time. So chiseling it was not a huge problem. During this time, the Hittites were the ones who built these areas for them to hide. But during the Ottoman Empire, this is where the early Christians hid. These areas here are more like ant farms with different long passageways, which are so small that as you can see here, I had to crawl and very tight spots also. So I don't recommend for anyone who is claustrophobic. But once you get in here, it's out of this world, this experience. Surprisingly, the temperature in here was very cold. So it so even the tour guide said that it was very cold, that it's perfect to provide temperature for their food to be chilled and last longer. Also, they have many different fascinating things like booby traps, underground churches, and even a winery, believe it or not. As you can see here, this is one of their traps, a huge boulder which is used to barricade the door when enemies come. There's even ones where stairways, when they go down, lead to a huge pit. So when it's in pitch darkness, when you walk down, your instinct tells you to step. So most people will fall down and get themselves badly hurt. As you can see here, this is a Christian Orthodox church that was built underground. It was very fascinating to visit. I can even see some ancient murals too. So, any questions?
none so far. Actually, you have answered my question already. When I saw you crawling down that area, but you are wearing sweater, jacket. So I'm about to ask, how's the temperature there? But you have answered it, it's cool, right?
Yes. Also, interesting fact, the place that we seen in
Interesting.
the underground city of Cappadocia, we are only able to see the tip of the iceberg because
Mhm.
these areas extend 15 more stories underground. So we
Oh,
only touch the
amazing.
surface of
Wow.
this underground city. So Let's continue.
Yes, yes, please.
Over here, this is the house of Virgin Mary.
Mhm.
I'll tell you the story of how this house was discovered. A nun dreamt of a vision of a place where Mama Mary stayed for her final time, her last stay, till her, till her death. After she dreamt of this every time, she wrote it a book. And there's this person who said, "Oh, this sounds exactly like a place I found a while back." When they went to this spot, they found a old built stone house. And they believe that this place is where Mama Mary last stayed because nearby here is Ephesus. And in the Bible, the brother of Jesus, John, stayed in Ephesus because it made sense that Mama Mary stayed here because they were fleeing from the Romans. Also, unfortunately, we are not allowed to take a picture inside of the house itself, but it was adorned with many different decorations and even a Mama Mary statue inside. To be honest, walking around here gave a holy experience. It felt like you're going into a religious site. There's also spring water, which they believe could heal a person. So, any questions about this part?
None so far, my dear.
Okay, okay, I'm good. I hope you really enjoy this. These most of these projects are from my Ephesus journey. So I really hope you like some of these.
I did. I did. It got me interested, actually.
So here, this is one of the biggest Seljuk caravanserai. Caravanserai means hotel. A caravanserai is technically a hotel or an inn where merchants and their camels can stay and take a break. These contain water, a resting spot for the camels, and a place for the merchants to eat and rest before continuing on their journey. These caravanserais are located along the Silk Road. The Silk Road is famous for its multiple trades of silk, other expensive goods. Also, this caravanserai was made out of all of it is made out of marble, pure marble. So, also, interesting fact, they are separated by 30 km. Due to that is the maximum limit that a camel can go. So, technically, we were able to visit inside, and it was quite nice. It was a bit renovated due to due to some of its damage that it had in previous disasters before. So it's still being repaired. We were only able to see like the entrance. We're not fully allowed inside. So over here, this is my Karanuan Bayan. My Karanuan Bayan.
I have a question about the Sultan Han. You said it's still under renovation. Is it
I'm
open for accommodation or just for
it's
like a
more of tour. You're only
tour?
allowed tour, not really like entering inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot stay there, but you are allowed to take a tour inside.
Ah, I see. I see. Just
So
tourist.
the Karanuan Bayan brochure is technically a little bit of a memorization to help memorize these Karanuan Bayan. This contains Salawika Inn, Sawika Inn, and Kasabihan. Salawika Inns are proverbs, Sawika Inns are slogans, and Kasabihan are old sayings. The reason why these Kasabihan, the Karanuan Bayan, are important is because it contains rules that also apply to our modern day. And also, it also contains wisdom and basic law. As the meaning of Salawika in is, it means that it is the root for poems and basic law. Without them, people not would not be able to listen, would not be able to help memorize or improve in it actually kind of acts as a rule book, a fun rule book. Also, just to add a little bit of extra detail, the Kalangan Bayan brochure, I also added some fun little Easter eggs all around just so that it will be fun for the person to read. Anyways, do you have any questions?
Opo. Kumusta po ang iyong speaking in Filipino? Marunong ka bang mag-Tagalog or mag-Filipino?
Little by little, I'm getting close. I can speak Taglish. I understand Tagalog very well.
Oh,
It's just that
good.
it's kind of hard to like. It's hirap naman. Sobrang hirap.
I understand. Thank you for being honest. I love that brochure that you made. Um, uh, I'll try to speak Tagalog. Nagustuhan ko, no, yung creativity mo diyan. Maaari ko bang ma-request na magbasa ka ng isang salawikain o isang
Okay,
sawikin na
sure,
nilalaman ng brochure mo?
sure. I'll do one of them. For
Sige po.
asalawikain, sa taong walang takot, walang mataas na bakod.
Mhm.
This means that if this person is fearless, no walls can trap them.
Mhm.
So it means that a person who is fearless, there is no walls that would enclose them or any problem that they could not face.
Mhm.
Another one is one of my favorites.
Mhm.
It's one of my another favorite. It's a quick one, it's short, but it's very easy to remember,
Mhm.
which is kung pat wait, again, kung patay oh well. But anyways, oh here. Sorry,
Ano?
hin
Mm.
pa ang damo
Mhm.
kung patay ang kabayo. It means that it's too you have to find the solution before it's too late. There is
Mhm.
no point of placing a wound on it's no use of placing a bandage over a healed wound.
Mhm. Mhm. Mabuti at naintindihan mo, no, yung mga kasabihan, no? So, sige, we'll work on speak more Tagalog time siguro in the
Okay.
future.
Okay.
Magaling.
Over here, this is my cool matcha shakes. This is for my TLE and my project. The TLE belongs to the intrapreneurship and business transactions I was able to achieve. As you can see here, let's see. Oh, wait, anyway. What happened? I was able to make my own tapioca pearls, shakes to go with the matcha, and I was able to earn a decent amount, maybe 1,100 worth of shake, worth of pesos I earned back. I also calculated the cost that I needed, and the amount that I sold, and how much I got in return. Also, I sold these shakes when my friends were coming over here for to practice free diving, which you'll see later on. I also gave some to my coach and my friends, and they loved it. Trust me. I even heard one of them said that it tastes better than ones on Denmark. Believe it or not.
Oh, I believe you. Look, I wish I could have tasted your matcha shake.
If you come over to Nasubu, I'll make sure you can try one for free.
Looking forward to that, look.
Anyways, here for my PLE and arts project, I use a house interior app known as Kuhum. Kuhum is technically how it technically helps make persons who architectures make a visualization of their builds. It also places it in a fun and game-like way where you can make your own rooms, houses. Currently, this one here, as you can see here, I'm currently constructing a bungalow, which is a one-floor house. These have two rooms, the bedroom. These are the both of the bedrooms, and the bathroom you'll see later on. This Kuhum also provides video and quality pictures. Also, this is where I learned how to use interior design and how to use the software that it provides. So over here is the video. Unfortunately, these videos provide only like 30 seconds, depending on how much RAM your devices have. It provides only 30 seconds worth of video. Over here, this is the video that I was able to take a video. This will show both of the bedrooms and the bathroom. So here is the bedroom, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, as we pass by here, we're gonna show you two bedroom number two. Wait, it's a bit of it takes a while, but it will work.
Okay.
Over here, this is bedroom number two. This
Mm-hmm.
one is a simple but sleek design,
Yeah.
which helps contrast between the white colors of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, this is the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and over here is the friendly dinosaur over the window.
That's funny. There's a dinosaur outside the window. Where is
Anyways,
this located? Where will this
what?
be located?
Ano?
Where will this be located? Why is there a dinosaur outside the window?
Who knows? It
In
could
the
have been
wild?
I don't know.
Just curious question.
Don't worry. Must be nearby Jurassic Park. Anyways,
Mm,
over here, this is my electricity consumption computation. This is
mhm.
where I computed the amount of our electricity bill in our Tagaytay condominium house. The reason why I did this is that I want to know which appliances that we use more and cost a lot. What we did here, most of these appliances show the kWh or kilowatt hours. If you don't know how to compute the kilowatt hours, it is the watts times hours divided by 1000. Then you get the total amount. How many did you get for kilowatt hours? Example like the refrigerator is 0.5 kilowatt hours. So what we did here is that we need to also include the price that the company pays for every hour for every kilowatt hours, which we found via through the bills that we received. Most of these here are just generous rough estimations on how many times that we use this in a day. So most of these prices actually once we actually compute funny thing, once we computed the actual price, these things how much we actually earned during last month is half of the one that we got. So it was still a generous amount on how much if we were really using it every day. All of these electricity consumption. So when I realized this, I discovered which of these uses it more. The aircon uses more kilowatt hours, nearly 48% of all of the electricity kilowatt hours in our appliances. Aircon nearly takes half of it. And the second one is the induction stove. And then the third is the microwave, which covers maybe around 6%. Anyways, after I discovered this, after I discovered this, I decreased the less use of aircon and buy more food from outside to save on electricity. Interesting fact, we were able to pay half of the price. Now, our price, the electricity bill decreased a lot, and we were able to save a lot of money thanks to this.
Good job, look. Since you have
Do you
your
ha-
application.
do you have any questions?
No, no. Just appreciation that you have applied what you have learned and save on electricity. But can I ask a question? Maybe we this is regarding the cool matcha shake. I am just curious. How many days did you do it, or just one day entrepreneur day for you?
Well, to be honest, example for the tapioca pearls, it took over maybe around half a day
Uh
for it
huh.
to be prepped. The
Mm-hmm.
matcha shakes weren't really too hard to
Mm-hmm.
make. I can actually give it a quick on how I made it. I used the matcha shake, vanilla extract, milk,
Mm-hmm.
and frosting.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not what you call whipped cream, and the tapioca pearls. What
Mm-hmm.
happened? I placed an equal amount of water and added a little bit of sugar because the tapioca pearls will help balance the taste.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the only thing that I didn't really prepare were the straws, which is supposed to use for the shake.
Definitely. Uh, my question is, how many days did you sell it, or it's just one day event?
One day event.
Oh, I see. But the preparation of tapioca, you said is half day. It took you half day to prepare it.
Yes, what
Mm.
happened? You have to place the tapiocas into a pot, boil it for over maybe 3 to 4 hours, or
Oh.
3 hours to be at least. Then after
Mhm.
that, you add sugar to help make it caramelize. After that, you drain it, strain
Mhm.
it, and then we start the process to extract more water out of it. After that, you finish with the tapioca pearls. You place them in the fridge to make
Mhm.
them last longer.
Mhm. Right. Thank you for sharing the step-by-step procedure on how to make it. Are you going to do it again? Sell matcha shake?
I mean, I will. I'm planning to do.
All right. So proceed.
So, sure. Here, this is for my biology project. This is where I collected DNA from a banana. As to give you a bit of context, DNA is the building block of life. This is a type of um, amino acids which contain different, without DNA, contain different codes for the cell to process. Without codes, without this DNA, the cell would absolutely collapse because DNA is literally like the code for the entire cell. Without it, it's gonna die. So what we did here, we crushed a banana into small to a mush to help break down the cell structures of the banana to make it easier to absorb the DNA. Then we place a specific solution of salt water and soap to help break down the banana even more. The salt water helps take out the outside layer of the cell, which is and the cell membrane and the inner parts. After that, the soap, the soap then breaks open the nucleus, releasing the DNA structure. The alcohol will help group up all of those DNA, forming it into a spider-like silk, which you can see over here. Depending on what type of species of fruit that you use, it has more DNA or not. So the reason why I did this project, it's because I also wanted to know what is the importance behind DNA. And I also realized how important it is for a cell to process. Without DNA, we won't be able to live. We won't be able to do anything. So, any questions?
None for this. Well explained.
Okay. So here, this is where I practiced my Science 101. During the church, we were able to learn how to do proper wrapping of wounds, CPR, and how to carry a victim. This also counted as my science, TLE, and health project. What I was able to learn how to do proper CPR on a person. So let's say someone collapsed onto the area, onto nearby. What you need to do is to check around the area for danger. That's number one. Number two, check if the patient is okay, conscious or unconscious. Depending on which situation it is, if the patient is conscious, you could try to calm them down. But if you don't calm them down, they'll start to panic more, and this could cause more problems. So first, you need to form a communication with the victim to help them relax. After that, you try calling for help. Example, single out a person to call 911. Or if it's just call 911, people will just panic. They won't they won't be too focused on calling 911. So it's better just focus your attention on a single person. The reason why you should always call 911 is because these people that you're calling are trained professionals. Even if you are trained for a long time, it's still good to bring a professional because they will have the proper materials and tools to help the patient. Also, when the patient, depending if the patient is knocked out or unconscious, first you have to check, you hold the mouth and open it up and check inside if anything is blocking the airway. After that, you check behind the head, the body, if there's any scratch. Depending on what injury, the person could be punctured, badly injured, a broken bone. So it's good to check around the body, but you also have to be careful to not make it worse. After that, if the person is still unconscious, you start to do CPR. You hold the person, you open the person's mouth and blow air. You blow air into the person's mouth. After that, you do basic CPR. You help restart the heart with that oxygen that you have given. Do 3 times chest compressions, then breathe into the person's mouth until you can hear a proper pulse. The spots where you can hear the pulse is here, here, or here. We also learn how to do CPR depending on what age, when it's a kid, a child, a baby, or a man. So I learned a lot too. Here, I also learned how to collaborate with my friends and also learn basic safe first aid, which is important. Here, this is my Muay Thai. This is where I practice Jiu-Jitsu and Kaiju Kenbo. What happened, the video that you're gonna see is that I coach told me to make sure to act like I'm being hurt. So what I did here, I did a stance here and tried to attack him. Coach is teaching Kaiju Kendo during this time. So let's look into the video. I shuffle. There. So I had to act like I'm being actually hurt.
Very good acting skills.
The Kaiju Kendo and Muay Thai act as my self-defense and exercise. So we do this at least 2 or 1 times a week because we always have to move sometimes. So it was very fun. I like doing Muay Thai. It was pretty much fun to do once in a while.
It's important to have physical activities like this. Look.
Yes, especially after the quarantine, people would really want to do something exercising, something instead of sitting down in the room.
Yes, yes. This is also for health, no?
Yes, it keeps your blood circulating, also keeps your blood pressure right.
Mm-hmm.
So, continuing on, here this is for my music project. I am part of a CCF Nasugu Exalt team. I am a singer, which I practice my singing, and my dad and mom leads the Exalt service. So I help them once in a while if they're running out of men or persons that could help. So here, I think we're singing "Today is the Day You Have Made. I'll be joyous and be glad in it." Something like that. So here's the video. So during these times, we also have our Bible studies where we'll pray before starting. And after this, we sit down in church and continue our watching on CCF. So, welcome to quarter 2 of our projects. As the same thing as quarter number one, quarter number one, these will show the relations, these projects will show the relationship between different subjects, and some of them would have multiple. So, let us begin. Here, this is my Mount Butalaw hike. This is an essay from an English and PE project. Around early in the morning, we went on a trip to Mount Batulao. This thing has like 12 peaks, and it's very long. It took us a day to go up and down. And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. And especially when we walked into this area, when we went in, it was surrounded by a hazy mist. It's you couldn't really see very far, and it gives it this mystical feeling. Especially, I also talked about how this hike resembles more like life, as you can see here, somewhere around wait, wait, here, somewhere around here. This is where I talked about life. Hiking is like life. Sometimes you go to, sometimes this hike has its hills and valleys, just like in life. It has its highs and lows. Sometimes you'll trip, fall, and also get yourself hurt. But all we can do, sometimes you want to give up. There are times that you would wish to give up. But I had those times where going up this hike, I wanted to give up. But I'm already very far up. I can't stop. Also, Wapen, all we can do in life is to continue walking. Even if we don't like it or not, we still have to continue. Because as a wise man said, time does not wait for anyone. So I also the positive thing here is that some you have to embrace the little things in life. And you might be wondering, what are these little things? Well, these little things are, example, your family, your friends, what you have around you, and how lucky you are compared to other people. Those are the little things, in my opinion. And and as we continue our hike way up in the mountain, we would once we reach to the peak, and when we realize on how far we gone, our ups and downs, our achievements, and our failures, we'll think it wasn't that bad after all. As simple as a hike, it's our way of growing up. No matter how old we are, we still grow up, either to physically or mentally. So this is how I compare my hike to what's happening, what life is like.
Well said, Luke. No, I like how you have life lessons, but connecting your while walking in the hike, connecting it to your life lessons. No, I was reading it while I was listening to you. So such an inspiring essay written by you.
Actually, I like actually writing a little. I do a bit of writing once in a while. So what happened? This is actually one of my favorite essays that I did.
Mm-hmm. It has a
Also,
purpose. Mhm.
continue.
Yes, continue, continue.
Okay, so let's continue our quarter two. Here, I'm going to describe the amazing Hagia Sophia. During the Nika Revolt, when Justinian ruled, the Hagia Sophia was badly burnt down due to a revolt during I think the Byzantine, I think Byzantine Empire maybe. But this this was rebuilt by Justinian after it was burnt down, and this place was adorned with many different treasures from the from all around the world. I'm going to describe you some of the amazing designs of this Hagia Sophia. The Hagia Sophia is the fourth largest dome in the world. Fourth largest. So this area is massive. It's also the second largest pendative dome. This dome, a pendative dome, is made with a dome on top and has multiple arches here to help support its weight. Actually, interesting fact, as the architects were building the Hagia Sophia, sometimes the Hagia Sophia collapsed due to its weight on the dome. So this is where they use the pendative dome, and it works perfectly. While during I think the Ottoman Empire, there is this Hagia Sophia. was once a church, now converted into a mosque. As you can see around here, there is Islamic calligraphy, Islamic writings around here. And the only thing that remained of the Hagia Sophia is the Mama Mary statue with baby Jesus. So also, by the way, this contains 104 columns. Some of these belong to the Temple of Artemis, which were used from the Temple of Artemis. So it was very fascinating. Going in here, it felt very unreal. It felt amazing actually being inside here. But we cannot, I had to keep quiet due to respect because it is a mosque. So many Muslims come over here and pray. So it's a good idea. I have to keep quiet, the tour guide said also. But I was also able to take some good pictures too. So continuing on, here this is another art project. This is the Basilica Cisterns. The Basilica Cisterns, the Basilica Cisterns are an underground cisterns during the Byzantine Empire by Emperor Justinian. This is actually the largest ancient cisterns beneath the city of Istanbul. This thing is over the city. So it was very massive. This contains, during the ancient times, it contains a lot of water for drought. For drought and other, like droughts, winters, they use this water for drinking, taking a bath, and for the crops. There are actually around maybe 306 pillars supporting these cisterns. As you could, there are also many different art pieces that were placed here, built by artists here. There's even one, since we weren't able to find a picture of it, and the light for it was destroyed, an iron wire of Medusa. As you can see behind here, there is a Medusa statue which was reused as a pillar. There's even another one later on when you're gonna see in the video over here.
Come check this.
There, the Hagia.
Come check this.
So as you can see here, there is a lot of pillars. The water now has receded greatly. This is the first Medusa head. So, wait. As you walk around here, there are many different art pieces, including jellyfish and other amazing arts even. You'll see the jellyfish very soon. And this is very nice, it glows in the dark, impressive. Here, you'll see it now. It's very nice. Look at that, right? Yeah, it's once in a lifetime experience. So these basilica systems were quite amazing.
Yes,
Artists,
it is.
do you have any questions about the basilica cisterns?
No, I just agree. It's amazing. No, thank you for touring me around this Basilica Cistern. Continue.
Okay, so as we continue our journey, in Turkey, we arrived in the Hierapolis of Pamukkale. This is as you can see in the images, this is the famous hot springs with like, the nice blue waters, the ones that you see like in the pictures. This is the white terraces. These have white terraces and ravines. This water here is believed to have healing qualities, which could help with ailments, cramps, and other illness. This became a famous spot during the ancient times with many Greek and Roman buildings. This also has hot springs, a theater, as you can see here. This is the theater. And it's also where they found the tomb of Saint Philip during the Christian era. Also, there are a lot of sarcophagus surrounding this area underground. I'll show you the image of us in the lake.
Here we are on top of the stars. I never thought we'd ever get this far. We live for moments like this. We come alive in
Lovely. Very
Moments
nice.
like this.
So as you can see, there's even people bathing into these hot
Yes.
springs.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we came here during the dry season, so only a few of these pools were with water. But during the season, all of these terraces were filled with water.
Have you
Also,
tried taking a dip?
yeah, we're actually standing right above of this water, and it felt very nice. To be honest, it felt very weird. It gives it a it has a salty feel. It's like you're stepping in the salt water of the Red Sea. As I
Mm-hmm.
as I watch on TV, it's very nice. The water is actually surprisingly very warm. Since I mean, it is a hot spring, but it is very warm, and it's very warm compared to the outside, which is very cold that time. So
Nice.
so as here, this is my fudge brownies. This is also a math NTLE project. Later, you're gonna see how I computed the cost. But first, I've made two different flavors, gluten and Oreo. What happened? The same day when they are going for a free diving training, I decided to make myself my own brownies, one gluten free and one Oreo. My favorite is the Oreo. It gave a nice crisp texture, and the Oreos made it twice as perfect. The gluten free was also pretty nice too. I earned around 950 pesos in total, and it was a hit. Most of the people really liked the flavor. So over here, this is the computation on how I got to the selling price. As you can see here, I just computed the amount that I used and the cost it could theoretically cost. After that, after getting the total cost of all of the expenses that I used, I get the yield, divided it by the yield, then I get the cost per brownies. Then I placed it into its selling price. Same thing with the Oreo brownies. So also, as you can see here, mom added some questions here, which I also answered. For example, like this. How much will I collect if I sell 10 gluten-free brownies? So what we just did here, we calculated the selling price of the brownies, then we times it by 10, getting 250 in total. Also, I also learned how to use Excel properly. I used Excel for these pictures here. For these pictures here, I used Excel, and I also calculated the cost too. I also had a lot of fun making these brownies and computing the cost. I mean, if I had a brownies, I would have recommend you to try some of the brownies I have made. It is to die for.
I would love to. Look, I love brownies. And it's
So
amazing that you can make this fudgy brownies aside from the matcha shake a while ago. So, are you into baking or
I'm
into
actually a chef. Chef. I'm
wow.
actually a chef. I actually made many different cakes during the time in quarantine. I started to do a bit of baking.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually a lot of fun making the brownies. I even made carrot cake with frosting and
Wow.
even a matcha cake.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I really like about this project I did here was that I was also able to get to try the brownies. It was very good. Anyways, do you have any questions for this?
So, I understand you sell this, no? So, is
Yes.
it a one-day event also? Or you
Yes, also a one-day event. I
mm-hmm.
sold this to my friends
Mm-hmm.
who were only staying here for like maybe one day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's like a one-day event. After that, I didn't have any leftovers, so I didn't really need to.
To sell more.
Hmm.
So, what
But
are the
if
feedback of your friends? Did you
again,
get what are their feedbacks? Did you get their feedbacks?
oh yeah, they said it was very nice. The Oreo one had a good texture. The gluten-free brownies were good to go with coffee or good to add to coffee.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So the review was pretty nice. So if I'm gonna have another special event like this, I think I'm planning to do something close to this,
Mm-hmm.
making more of these brownies.
Mm-hmm. And it's important that you also ask their feedback for review, so you would know how to improve the next time, or what are the things that you will keep on doing, especially that you have what do you call this, had feedback that they love the Oreo brownies, so you can tag that as your bestseller.
Yeah. The tip about doing business, you should always ask for feedback. Or
Yes.
at least ask feedback once in a while, because even if the comment was negative, it was still good for you. You could still learn from your
True.
mistake. I mean, the right side, I'm still young. I could still make mistakes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so it was a good thing I got good feedback, but I'm planning to improve more when I'm doing another event like this.
Great, great, though. Always have a room for improvement, no?
Yes.
All right, continue.
So here, this is my English project. I made my own poem. I also had a Filipino version soon. It was originally meant to be a Filipino project, but I decided to also make another in poem. This title is known as Love and Addiction. It's meant to be interpreted in many different ways. But what I am looking into here is that it's supposed to be like addiction on games, online gambling, or other activities. I'll do the poem. When I first met you, I liked you a lot. Day and night, it feels like time just stopped. Days turn to months, I'm still not done. Each time I try to pull away, it makes me more want to stay. By the time I realize, it was already too late. All I can do is sit and wait, all because of a useless game.
You
And
deserve a round of applause there.
thank you so much. Over here, this is the Filipino. I also made a Filipino one. And I really like this one, the Filipino. It took me some time, but in the end, I liked the result. Noong unang kitang nakikilala, nagustuhan kita ng sobra. When I first met you, I liked you a lot. Araw at gabi, hindi kita maitibi. Day and night, I can't put you aside. Gusto kong kapiling ka oras-oras, palang walang bukas. I want to be with you all the time, like there was no tomorrow. Sa tuwing susubukan kung lumalayo, when I try to pull away, mas lalo akong di matigil tumayo. It feels like I cannot stand. Wait, tumayo. I think that's get close. I cannot bear staying away from you. I think that's what it meant.
Mhm.
So, sorry, it's supposed to rhyme. So, sa oras na napangtangko, so, nagpagtanto ko, by the time I realized, huli na ang lahat na ito. It was already too late. Oras ko'y sinayang, my time is wasted. Social media, walang pinapakinabang. So, social media is a waste.
Mhm.
Wasting.
Magaling, magaling.
Thank you so much.
Kaibigan ko ang iyong tulang sinulat sa Pilipino.
Yeah, it took me some time because I'm not very good when it's rhyming in Filipino. So it took me a little longer than
Mhm.
I previously expected.
Mhm.
So here, this is my treasures in Eden. This is a biology and Bible project. What I did here, I wrote my favorite Bible verses. I wrapped them, make them look aged, and placed them into bottles and made my terrarium. I made my terrarium using the plants, the soil, rocks, and added springtails and other decomposers to help to keep the terrarium balanced. Balanced. The verses that I used was Psalm 23, verse 1 to 3, which is the Lord is my shepherd, Lucas 6, verse 28, Philippians 3, verse 11, and Deuteronomy 6, verse 5. Over here, I'm going to show you the video that I recently sent in Facebook. Today, I made this terrarium and I'd like to call it the Treasures in Eden. Just like any terrarium, it has plants, soils, pebbles, and sand, and etc. But I added something very special. These tiny scrolls inside these tiny bottles have my favorite Bible verses. And the reason why I named this the Treasures in Eden was based on Psalm 9 verse 10. The word of God is more precious than gold and sweeter than honey. Thus the title in Eden. These go
I
through many
love
different
it.
processing. As you can see here, we can see the scrolls being packed inside these bottles. Then, after that, we placed them all around the terrarium and made sure that all of them are sealed properly. Here's me holding this nice aquarium. It was pretty heavy, not gonna lie, but it was so much fun. I had so much fun making this terrarium after so long of not making a single one. And my conclusion, even though my terrarium can be interpreted many different times, it's the effort that matters. And so
That's
what
good.
I meant to say in the end is that even though it took me some time, I appreciate it, and it's the effort that matters. And it doesn't matter if it was hard. It doesn't matter if it looks bad or looks good. It what matters is that you enjoyed it and you
Yes.
put a lot of effort into it.
Mm-hmm. It looks good, though. It looks good.
Thank you very much. Actually, my hobby before was to make terrariums, but j- I had to study. I have to catch up with my studies during the time, so I didn't really do a lot of terrarium making. But I was so excited to make this terrarium because it's been so long since I made one. I actually really enjoyed this terrarium.
Very nice. So this is not the first time that you created or made this
Yes,
terrarium. Mm.
yes, I made a lot of different terrariums in the past before.
Mhm. It's good. You got me curious about it. I'm not so much into plants, but they say I don't have the green thumb, but it's amazing to see one.
Don't worry, don't worry. Trust me, it just takes time and patience to practice making a terrarium.
Time and patience. Thank you for that, Look.
Yeah,
Wise words.
yeah. Over here, this is just one of mine, one of the ones I did. A
Oh,
small. This is a 1 year terrarium. This thing grown over time, and it
mhm,
become very bustling with different lights and different plants. It made its own terrarium and ecosystem.
mhm.
It's a closed terrarium. This thing has been closed for 1 year.
One
So it's
year?
been so all of it was it's by itself. It's been watered by itself. It's technically it's because it's closed lid, oxidation condensation happens, making its own rain. And when some of the plants die there, it provides extra nutrients for for the other plants to grow. So it's
Mhm.
its own ecosystem.
Nice. Very nice.
So here, this is the science behind free diving. So as I said before, I am practicing free diving currently. I actually broke some good records during this time. One of my one of the records I did here is that first I reached around 11.3 meters without any fins. Then my best record so far was 14.3 meters with fins. The science of free diving comes with the mammalian reflex. If you don't know what the mammalian reflex is a reflex where when you dive, your body, your heart rate, and your blood pressure start to slow down, and it starts to focus the remaining oxygen into your important parts like your heart, your brain, and your lungs. Also, when you're going deep, you're around 5 meters or so, you start to feel pressure in your ears. This is because when the water is pressing into your ears and the air is starting to press against your eardrums, causing you severe pain. But if you use our coach taught about equalization, which is like this, and you blow, or the movement of the jaw to help increase the air, that it helps open up the eardrums and allow air to enter in. So it decreases the pain or makes it gone completely. So you're able to dive very deep underwater. Actually, I really like doing free diving. It's one of my new favorite sports that I want to do. So, do you have any questions?
No, but I want to thank you for the tips that you have shared. I experienced that it's quite hard, the pressure underwater when you. I don't do free diving, just
Yeah,
scuba
basic
diving.
basic snorkeling. Yeah,
Yeah,
it takes
snorkel.
some time. You do it from underneath, right there.
Mhm.
If you want to get a proper one, you just blow like you're blowing, but your nose is shut.
Mhm. Thank you for the tip.
Hmm. So continuing on, I also learned an important thing. I also learned is first aid. I also learned how to do safety, safety and self-help and group work. Example like this, we learned how to do a clothes notch underwater. This is a unique tie which helps you tie rope against objects, which would be useful, for example, free diving or other things. Another one here is I think it's a base chain. Daisy chain. This is a daisy chain. This is a simple and easy way to pack all of your essentials. It helps give you more space for other things. Also, we also learned how to save an unconscious diver. This is me. What we did here, if a person's unconscious underwater, you hold their mask like this. When you hold it, it avoids them from getting water into their nose and covering their mouth. Place your chin up here so you can focus. So they can immediately be the first one to reach the air. After that, you take off their mask so they can breathe. And it could save a lot of lives if you know about this one. Because sometimes when you're free diving, you have a chance of blacking out. Also, because less oxygen going to your brain could cause blackout. Or you could faint due to pressure sickness. Over here, this is my friend here is practicing how to save an unconscious diver when you're near to the shore. And over here, right over here, this is where we're taught how to fix a cramp. When you're diving deep, the blood pressure starts to focus mainly on your main body. So sometimes your legs or arms will start to cramp a bit. We learned how to treat that by placing it. If my leg is here, you do it here and here. It helps relieve the tension on your muscles and reduces the pain immensely greatly. Do you have any questions about this one?
None so far.
Okay.
You have learned first aid. A while ago, you have learned first aid, right? Uh,
Yes.
the basic rescuing 101, and now um first aid for free diving. That's
Hmm.
which is very important because you're into free diving. Before you go into something, a hobby or a class or a lesson, it's good to know that how you will what do you call this, react or uh rescue if someone is in danger, or even if yourself, no.
Okay. A tip about free diving: never dive alone. You have to dive with a buddy, at
Mm-hmm.
least.
Mm-hmm.
Because, example, if you dive alone, if you faint, no one's
Mm-hmm.
gonna save you. But
Exactly.
if you faint with your buddy beside you, he can save you and bring you back to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
This also applies to spearfishing or other underwater sports
Mm-hmm.
or dive
Yes,
snorkeling.
or even in hiking, no? Or
Yes,
any sports or hobby that you do, it body system is important.
yes. Without the body system, if you example, even in land, if you get yourself lost with a buddy, you can at least have some communication and you have someone to also help you.
Yes, yes, that's right.
So, moving on, this is the final part of our quarter two projects.
Mm-hmm.
This is my Mary Did You Know? This is for my Bible and music project. What happened? I did a duet with one of my friends of Mary Did You Know?
Mm-hmm.
So here is the video. This was during a Christmas party. Yeah. So during this time, this is where I practiced my communication with my fellow singer.
Mm-hmm.
We also had some hiccups here and there, but at the end, everyone loved the music that we sang.
I
And
loved
we
it.
also, yeah,
However, it was
also,
cut short.
yeah, don't worry. Wapin, I also have to collaborate with my fellow singers so that teamwork always makes the dream work. So
Yes.
Weissman said, there is no I in team. So
Mm-hmm.
Weissman said, so this is the end this is the end of our quarter 2 and quarter 1 projects. I hope you enjoy this, and this is the end. Okay,
I enjoyed it. Look, great job. You deserve a round of
okay.
applause. No,
Thank you
you,
so much.
I really enjoyed it, and you got me interested with things that I just knew for now. No, the one is the free diving, the terrarium, and okay, let's do this from the beginning. I love how you do your presentation. It's like it's not. It's like you really own it. No, you really own your what you have learned from the past 2 quarters, and yung travel ninyo as a family. This is as a family. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Mm-mm.
as a family.
Yes, in Turk. What's the new name? Turkey. Turkey. Eh?
Turkey, Turkey.
Turkey. Okay, so I've learned Turkey about Turkey. It's like I am also, have traveled it, but virtually. But thank you for that, for giving a glimpse of Turkey
Okay.
today. No, in just a matter of an hour or so.
I
And
appreciate you enjoyed it a lot. I
yes, I
appreciate
did.
you enjoying it.
I did. I really did. No. Um just what I have told you a while ago. Your reading, your Bible reading come alive, no, in
Hmm.
that experience with your family.
Hmm.
And the entrepreneurship part in math and TLE. No, I ask you, will you be doing this again? Because are you into entrepreneurship or into the chef part?
I'm more into the chef part.
Okay. Maybe you can partner with a friend who's into entrepreneurship. You'll be the one behind the scene. You will be the one in the kitchen, and then there will be some of your friends or maybe your mom who's
Hmm.
into selling or into entrepreneurship. But that's a good match. No, you tried everything, and I love also your interior design. No, I see that you may, or if you want to be an architecture.
Hmm. I'm actually thinking of to play either as a chef or an architect. Sure.
See, I have already observed that in your presentation, no? Because in portfolio presentation, it is really your highlights, your learning, and your strength that the teacher, the advisor, we advisor, are observing. So those are the
Okay.
strengths that I saw in you. And what else? Of course, the CCF Exalt, no? Your singing, your gift in singing. Praise God for using it for the Lord. No?
Okay.
May I ask some questions about your spiritual growth since you are attending CCF Nasugbu, no?
Sure.
Are
Feel
aside from
free.
CCF Exalt team, are you part of Elevate? You know what Elevate is?
Yes, yes, I've heard of it.
Mhm.
It's just I haven't really attended most of the meetings due to I'm being busy with my studies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But you are part of the exalt, so worship. So
Yeah,
it's yeah, that's your ministry part. Are you familiar with the quiet time?
yes.
Mm-hmm. So how was your quiet time?
But it was well. I sometimes read Psalm, Ephesians, or just read the daily verse.
Mm-hmm. So
My
you
dad, me and my parents also do a quiet time together where
that's
we
great.
talk about a daily verse that
Mm-mm.
shows us and what it means to us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good, no? I call it family devotion, where you read the Bible and share the word of God. No, that's good. How's your relationship with your mom and with your dad?
I say it will be okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it was. I'm actually. It's very nice actually.
I could see that through your travels. Do you have a sibling? I don't think
Oh
so.
no, only
No,
child.
only child. How about friends nearby in your community, neighbors?
I mean, I have friends at church, which is in Nasubu. I guess you could say they're like neighbors.
Mm-hmm. How about in homeschooling community? Have you heard of the High-Unite?
Yes,
Have you tried attending it, joining it, or not? Not yet.
I attended it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I was a bit busy, occupied
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
to
you
really to occupy my studies to really focus during the High Unite for.
mhm.
Yeah, that's the reason. But I think I'm still part of one of the messenger groups.
Oh, that's good. That's great. I understand if you are, we all have our priorities. So if you can attend, it's okay. If it's not mandatory, it's not compulsory, it's totally fine. Why am I asking you these questions, Luke? Because I just want to share you the framework of homeschooling is Luke 2, verse 52. That Jesus grew in wisdom, in stature, in favor with God and men. And that is also my prayer for every homeschooler like you, that you will grow intellectually, um, physically, spiritually, and socio-emotionally. All those areas you will grow healthy and strong. So I can see that in your presentation. If you can remember, I told you that physical activities is important, and you got it covered with your hobbies, no,
Mm.
and your spiritual also is covered, and your socio-emotional. So
Mm.
congratulations, Luke,
Okay.
and that's it. Really enjoy listening to you. And if I have no further questions, but you may ask me if you have any question or
Uh, no, I don't really have any questions. I mean, thank you for listening to me for the podcast, and thank you for spending your time with me. So I really appreciate it.
me too. I enjoyed it. So if you have no more question, maybe I'll have time with your mommy and
Oh, sure thing. I'll call her very quick.
have a great day, Luke.
See ya. Bye. Oh, thank you.